Good morning. We'd like to welcome you to the BmoreNews Morning Show. China Boke Terrell, how are you?
Fantastic.
What's happening in the news today, China?
You know what? I'm really excited that Biden appointed a Native American to head the Department of the Interior. I think that is fantastic. And I'm happy to see a Black man be in charge of the EPA. I have been hungry to see Biden appoint more brothers. I know sisters got him elected, but I wanted to see him appoint more Black men. I don't want them to be left behind.
Okay. Jay, you need a couple of minutes still?
I'm good. Am I? Oh, I'm still backstage?
No, you're live.
I'm good. Look, I'm ready. Always ready for showtime, brother. Always. When the lights go on, I come on.
Jay, you're about to learn something. First of all, China, we'd like to welcome to the studio the one and only Jay Wendell Gordon. We call him the Warrior Lawyer. He's from gorgeous Prince George's County. We consider that the wealthiest or one of the wealthiest Black jurisdictions in the United States. And then we're also being joined with Devon Travell, and Devon has pulled together. Oh my God, I didn't know my backdrop was out of sync. He pulled together. Let me show you.
I already got you, King Glover.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
How old are you, Devon? I hate to put you on the spot like that.
I'm 27.
Yeah, see, I'm twice as old. That's what old people do, man. We put you on the spot. That's my boy there. That's my boy. Hey, Jay Wendell, that's my boy there. Boy.
Hey, man, I think that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic what y'all have done with Black Wall Street. And Don, I meant to tell you this a long time ago. There's some litigation going out in Tulsa right now by a good friend of mine, the Mario Solomon Simmons.
Esquire.
Yeah. If you ever want to get in contact with him, if you don't have his contact info, I got it right now.
He don't answer the phone, brother.
I got you.
He's too busy driving.
Nah, because he needs stuff like this, and he needs to be a part of stuff like this. And you know, they just took the deposition of a 101-year-old survivor of the Tulsa riots. Can y'all hear me?
Oh.
We can hear you.
Get him on the phone. Call him up. That's your boy. Get him on the phone.
I don't know if I can get him on the phone because they're behind us now. What is it? 9 o'clock their time? Probably 8 o'clock their time. But I'm gonna pass you his info, and you tell him I gave it to you. He's not answering his phone.
Right, you just
said I ordered the Black Wall Street, and I know you're on back order because you're all sold out. So it looks like my order is coming in February, and I got an ownership hat because that's right in my alley. Ownership, wealth.
Yes, ma'am. Rocket. Thank you, Queen China. Yeah, we appreciate it.
I can't wait for it to all arrive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, we got so much surprise love. Oh, there goes the number right there. Yeah, we just got so much surprise love even before the holidays. We weren't expecting this type of energy, but we appreciate it. And yeah, we'll get you a game ASAP.
That's fantastic. How are you producing the game? Are you getting that produced out in Tulsa, or are you manufacturing it yourself? Do you have to outsource? How are you getting that done for people who have similar ideas?
Yeah, we tried doing manufacturing out here, and just we weren't able to really make any type of return. It was very difficult. So now we're outsourcing our manufacturing, and then we have some creative partnerships coming in next year that aren't solidified yet, but we are trying to partner more with the local Tulsa area next year.
Got it.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Anything above ground, man, is on, right?
Yes, it's better to be seen than viewed, right?
Right. So, Devon, I got a 12-year-old that's waiting for it. So when is it coming in February? Yours is coming in February, China. So
yes, that's right. When I went to his website a couple of weeks ago, you said anything ordered now is going to come in February, right? In time for Black History Month?
Yeah, at the latest. It's probably gonna come before that, but we've learned to undersell, over deliver. So it'll definitely be there before February.
Well, that's great because my grandson's birthday is in February. So that'll be perfect.
February what?
25th.
Okay.
Oh, he's Pisces.
Yes. So is his grandmother. So is Go-Go.
Go.
He named me though when he was like 2 years old. He just there was a book which is really powerful. It's called The Day Go-Go Went to Vote. And it was hand drawn by Sharon Walker, I think is her last name. She's an artist out of the Carolinas. And the book is about the first grandmother who went to vote for the very first time. And she voted in Africa and voted for Mandela. And so that whole story is about that. And so one day he came to my bedroom. It was really weird. And he was knocking on the door and he kept saying, go, 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 go. But it was muffled, right? And I said, that sounds so familiar. When I opened the door, he started calling me Go-Go. And it dawned on me, I had this book down in the basement in a box. I dug the book out and it was the same year that he was born. The book was born. He was born. And Barack Obama became the very first Black president in the United States.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
That was really deep, man. The day Go-Go. So I'm Go-Go.
There it is.
So what was the inspiration behind creating, what is it, the board game?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, what was the inspiration aside from the obvious? What else went into that?
So I'm an educator. So I did a summer camp with a program called the Village Nation out here in LA, where we take like foster youth students and students who've really lived, a hard life, and we take them up to Big Bear camps to kind of remove them from that trauma. We're able to teach them about financial literacy, going to college, Black and brown love, trying to unify those two diasporas, and then also just history, right? So when you go up there, you're supposed to create yourself a camper name. So, some person's camper name may be Go-Go, might be your camper name. You might go as Queen China. You might go as the warrior lawyer, like whatever you want people to call you.
I would go as Icy Hot Stunner.
Oh, Icy Hot Stunner.
Icy Hot Stunner.
Was it you?
We're definitely going to need the story behind
you don't
that.
know that about me.
I'm waiting for that one myself.
I'm glad Donnie missed that.
Oh, he probably heard it, child. Don't. You'll get it back. Trust me.
Yeah.
So they go up there with these names, and then what's happening with that? What's the significance of having these names, these monikers?
Yeah, so the point of the name is so that when people call you, again, whatever you choose to be called, it's supposed to empower you and again remove you from the trauma of what people call you back home. So
that's
the name,
powerful.
Right? Really,
it's some mind control.
It's called Village Nation Unicamp. So the Village Nation, the founder is Fluker, real dope dude, elder. He's the mastermind creator of this experience. So I have the privilege of volunteering as just a counselor up there. And again, I chose my name as Black Wall Street. But this was back in 2017. So this was before I really knew a lot about it. I just knew a little bit from what I learned from college. But none of the students, none of the counselors, except for Fluke, knew about Black Wall Street. They're just like, why what's that name? What does that mean? Why'd you choose that? So what I did was I read some books. I read Hannibal B. Johnson's book. He was on here last time. I watched some documentaries, and I tried to take as much information as I could and put it into a board game. And then the next year, I went back to that camp with prototypes of the board game for students to learn a little bit about what Black Wall Street was.
Oh, that's what kind of impact does the camp have on kids' lives? Is it working?
Wow. It does work. I've seen some students who, like, statistically wouldn't have gone off to higher education, statistically wouldn't have gone off to college, and now they're at universities. Now they're counselors themselves, going back and pouring back into the kids. So yeah, it's beautiful. I know Village Nation has like some actual statistics, but just off of just stories, I can tell you it has an impact.
That's, and they do. We used to do a camp with Alvin Ailey. It was Ailey Camp here in Baltimore. And they were middle school children. The stories that they had were so powerful. And as a grown woman at that time, you know, you're sitting here looking at these children, and I called the woman up in New York, and I was like, you didn't tell me all of this was going to be happening, because my heart, I was in pain every day and trying to just be present and with what these children go through.
Yeah.
And part of the camp was to write, write your story. You got to write. Writing is really important. So they get journals, and they have to journal. And journal is real critical to just get the gunk out of your system. Some of those stories were so crazy that these babies are having to function. And when we sit down and we look at the fact, we ended up going out to UMBC after Morgan in the after program. And this one kid was just not doing his thing. He was just detached. And I said, you really have to get involved. This is all part of it. And, this is part of the program. And, we want you to enjoy yourself. He said, Miss Marsha, that's all well and good, but, I don't even see me living after 15. This was like in 1997. I heard a baby tell me that.
Yeah.
Right. And there are millions of our children who are in those situations. And I don't know why we're not collectively, nationally, in every single community dealing with what our babies are going through. And the intervention has to really start in the educational system where we can have some sort of impact. But I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us in 2020. We were talking about the digital divide. Larry Irving, and we're going to bring him on one day. Larry Irving wrote the report under Ron Brown at the Department of Commerce at the NTIA, National Telecommunications and Information Agency, and coined the digital divide. In 1999, why are we talking about the digital divide 20 years later? And our children are in a pandemic, most of whom do not have a computer at home, most of whom cannot get access to internet connectivity. That's a conversation we need to be having on a national scale in every household, in every community, in every election booth. And that needs to be an issue. How are we in Baltimore so progressive? How are you in LA so progressive? How are we in all these communities and our children can't access the internet with any kind of device?
It's very real. In the neighborhood where we're working, it ranks #1 in lack of internet connectivity. And what's wild is that, it's so possible to do it. I mean, so many cities already have their entire city with fiber optic cable.
That's right.
Along the entire length of the Amtrak, there's fiber optic cable.
Of course, and all you have to do is tap into it. And I've sent information back when who was the mayor at that time, Sheila, at that time had a conversation with her and had a conversation with Catherine. There is a program, an organization called, and I would ask that you all check it out. It's called the Intelligent Community Forum. And so it's intelligentcommunity.org. They travel around, and I've been dealing with these people for a long time. They've been traveling the world looking at connectivity and giving out awards to countries and cities who are doing the most innovative things to put their citizens on the internet. And
I wanted to just intervene here. Jay Wendell, you got yourself muted.
Oh, I heard some feedback. That's why I wanted to figure out where it was coming from.
Okay, I hope everything is good. Devon, so we have with us, just so you know, both China and Jay Wendell Gordon are both lawyers. Did you know that, Devon?
I can tell from Wendell. I didn't know that about Miss Icy Hot Queen over here.
Well, on that note, as we're talking about Black Wall Street and history, are you familiar with the famous Black lawyers that have helped shape this country?
Oh no, but I'm always down for some education.
Okay, well, J. Wendell Gordon, who was the dean of Howard University Law School that mentored the first Black Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall?
Now, don't give me these tests all day long because I'm gonna fail one of them. But that one I know, Charles Hamilton Houston.
That's all I want. You
There
got
was another one. It was another one before him, and
There was.
I can't remember. But we have black lawyers have been here for a while, been fighting these battles for a long time, and they didn't stop with Thurgood either, and they don't stop with myself and Miss China. There are legions and legions of lawyers who've taken on these battles. I'm proud of the ones in my generation who really are going backwards to face what happened in Tulsa, who dealing with police brutality on a national level and who also deal with it on a local level, just scoring victory after victory. And these are hard battles because we don't win them all. And we don't talk about the ones that we lose unless there's one that we won. We only talk about the ones we lost after we won one, okay? Because nobody wants to hear about you losing. But these are serious battles. I mean, serious battles.
Right. It's war.
Mm-hmm. We go in, and when we strike one, you know, that's something that's cause for celebration. But at the helm, it's been African-American lawyers because white lawyers didn't want to touch it. Now that you'll see them coming back into it because they've been hearing about these verdicts and these settlements that we've been getting lately. So now they're coming back, even asking us, what are we doing to get these verdicts? So they're coming asking us for information on how to obtain, you know, success in these cases. But as professional colleagues, you know, I have to be. It's bigger than myself. So if you're trying to get justice for African Americans, yeah, I'm telling.
Yeah, you cannot be working a silo.
Yeah, because, you know, obviously we want to make sure we would like to remain in the game, and we don't see ourselves going anywhere because there's certain value that comes with this skin. There's a certain confidence, trust, and confidence that folks have in you because you know what it is to live in this skin. So you're always going to be a premium attorney, but at the same time, you want justice for our people. And I don't care what shade it comes in, because we're all going to benefit from it.
Well, you're going to have help. You got to reach across that aisle,
and I'm the blackest lawyer you will ever see.
Well, we do know that, lawyer.
And I'm serious. I mean, black inside and out, all black, everything. I'm rooting for everybody black. But when it comes to our people, I can't be every place at every time, all the time. I want justice. That's what I want. More so than a win for the black lawyer. I want justice for our people.
Devon, a critical question for you. Do you have a lawyer?
No.
Yes, you do. You have two lawyers right now. You have J. Wendell Gordon, the warrior lawyer, and you have China Boke Terrell. I want you to get their contact information. Hey, I'm a black man in America. You can never have enough lawyers. Shout out to Ivan Bates.
Or accountants.
Now I'm about to go crazy.
Uh-oh. What's that mean?
Because I saw that product. I saw it. You can't even hide it. You can't say I didn't see it because I know what I saw. I know that you didn't develop that entire product without a lawyer. So just tell me that you did not do that.
Oh, we consulted a lawyer, but we didn't, I don't have a lawyer on retainer.
Who did your patents? Who did your patents? Who did your trademarks?
Okay, we're going to answer those questions offline.
All right.
To keep them protected.
Andrea Evans.
You can write it down.
Andrea Evans. Andrea Hintz Evans.
China Boke Terrell, what is the significance of having a lawyer?
You have to be represented. You have a lawyer. What'd you say, Jay?
Fill your SHIT like they invented it and created it and put a trademark on it and block you from your own intellectual property.
That's what I was about to say, to secure your rights. And unfortunately, some people just go into things for the good of it, and we have an idea and we want to help people, and we put it out there and we're making things happen. But it's so important to figure out how to monetize, how to protect the right to monetize. And in all honesty, I personally believe that, our small business owners, our, creative thinkers, people like Devon, we need to provide them services for free. to get them off the ground and to help get them started. Donnie, this is your concept of Black Wall Street that you had explained to me that I love and embrace so much, but each one help one. And obviously we all have to make a living, and a laborer is worthy of hire, but there has to also be somewhat of an investment. And I think we haven't seen enough grant money for businesses, for for-profit businesses, especially for-profit Black businesses.
That look like us. That's right.
So Devon, I can see a new edition of the game coming out, and it might have a law office, a big law building, like in,
That's that man's problem.
Maybe it's the Terrell Gordon Law Building. You know what I mean?
That sounds like something the association, the Black Bar Association, should be creating. That whole section. That sounds real serious, man.
Oh yeah.
We didn't know he was out here, but
yeah, but now you do, and I know your brain is rolling.
So you don't even have to look for it, Devon. And I mean this out of love, brother, not to put you on the spot. And I'm glad you didn't answer my question. And and that's fine. But if you look over to the comment section, I put her link there.
I already tracked her down.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Appreciate you. And then if y'all are willing to put your contact information in that lovely chat over there too.
But Jay, maybe you can give her a call and let her know that this is a friend, and maybe the first few hours, the first 10 hours, it's just help.
But Devon, there's a catch to this. Let me just warn you. There's a catch to this. Devon, have you ever pledged
a fraternity?
Yes, sir.
And then you out there in LA, you can't wear, if you live in the blue, you can't wear red, right?
Technically, yeah.
But this is your new game. And in Black Wall Street, we look out for each other. So as they are looking out for you, you got to look out for somebody else.
And what are those signals that you just had? What fraternity are you a member of?
That's what I was going to ask.
This is Pi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh, Sigma.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay. Well, not to get you caught up. Well, you blue, and you do got a red on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah. People know me. People know me.
We all cousins. We all cousins.
It's all about the divine nine, right? That's what I keep hearing Kamala say. It's all about the divine nine.
We all cousins. You know what I mean?
There we go. It's all love.
Marsha, what do you see? As you mentioned, your grandson.
Yes.
Brilliant young man.
Woo! Off the hook.
Peyton is what, 11 now?
Peyton's 12. He'll be 13 in February.
Okay, I'm 55. Devon, he's 27. Jay Wendell's somewhere in between. 51. Marsha, what do you foresee being the trajectory of our mental health? Where's our mental health?
It's a good one.
Man, that's deep that you just had ask this, because yesterday I was on the telephone with the executive director, Andrea, and her team with the Black Mental Health Alliance. And part of what my conversation was is that we have to really start having some real community conversations, particularly being on lockdown like we are. People's lives are totally changing, their jobs, their businesses, they're losing this or they're gaining something, but they don't know what to do with it or how to do with it. And we really have to start paying attention to how we get help, even if we're reading about it or learning through our friends and having these discussions and being open, because Black people traditionally have not wanted to deal with our Black mental health. We haven't wanted to talk about that because we want to, as my favorite word is, keep it moving. That's my motto in life. You keep it moving. I don't have time to be sitting here trying to deal with all these emotions and all the things that I'm going through, but we have to.
What happens when we don't?
But we take that out, those aggressions and that pain, we take it out. That hurt people.
Right.
And so you have all this coming out through all kinds of ways, either physically, mentally, verbally, because verbal abuse can be worse than physical abuse. Because you almost can come back at it physically, but how do you come back after those words? And they sit and they echo and reverberate in your brain.
Yeah, they resonate. And you know, I have to make reference to Catalina Bird because that's where I got this term from.
What?
We consume a lot of trauma porn.
Yeah.
Trauma porn is what she calls it. And
what do you mean by that? What's trauma
real?
porn? Is that just
like
the movies we watch, how violent they are?
We watch it.
Yep.
It's this black pain that we become addicted to in our television shows and our rap lyrics and in the streets. It's in all walks of life. And when you talk about these words that sometimes we say to our children, you know, when you speak harmful
I'll brought
words,
you in this world and I'll take you out.
yeah, when you speak harmful words in your children, they don't stop loving you.
I'll beat the black off you.
They don't stop loving you. They stop loving themselves.
Right.
That's
right.
what you have to understand.
They don't find themselves worthy.
Right. You'll always be someone who they love if you've had that type of relationship with them, but they will stop loving themselves. And that then becomes a whole history, because when you talk about hurt people, if a child has been abused physically, emotionally, mentally, all through their growing up days, all through elementary, through middle school, through high school, then you got the bullies out there. What do you think that sum total of who they are is going to happen when they become a parent, when they have to deal with people in the workplace? All of that comes out, and they can be triggered at any moment. Yeah. And it's exploding. I'm telling you now, young people, I see them, I talk to them, I represent them. They are angry. I mean, they are angry. And I'm telling you, and they're holding stuff in. You do something to them as a child, when they get up age, I'll tell you the truth. It's the honest to God story. If you got time, I'll tell you.
I know. Come on.
This kid, he's charged with murder, double homicide.
How old?
He was 16.
Okay.
16 or 15? 16. So here I am. I'm like, okay, get the call. Can you go see him? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, I'll go see him. Transact, whatever the transaction was. It was nominal. This ain't about the transaction. So I go down there and I see him. And I was like, man, I remember you when you were a little kid, because I've known the mama for a long time. And so we have a conversation. And before I get down there, I look at the video and I'm like, wow, this is just a robbery, you know, but it's a botched robbery. One guy gets shot, and then you see this other victim. She's on the ground and she's begging for her life. Pop, right in the head, boom, fell out. 2 bodies on the ground. I'm talking to this guy, and let me see how much I can talk about. But at the end of it, because I don't want to express confidences, at the end of it, he told, well, what I learned, let me couch it. I'm trying to use the most.
Okay, attorney, lawyer, right.
Confidence in what I do, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll just say this. It was very chilling, the conversation that I had with him, just to hear about the pain that young people, I'm putting this in generalities now, that young people go through is very chilling. And the built up anger is even more so impactful, because there are more of them out there, and people will vouch. You got this one. There's about 3 or 4 of them, and at least one of them accounts for, of the 300 murders last year that we had, I think I could give him a good 3 to 5%. And there are more of them out there, and they're into this gaming, and it detaches them. Couple that with the built-up anger that they feel, and you know, they'll explode on you. If you disrespect them today, and they see you 6 months from now at McDonald's eating a hamburger, you better watch it. That's all I have to say. You better watch it and watch yourself, because they hold on to stuff and wait for the opportunity for them to be big enough to do something to you about it.
That goes back to that young boy that I was telling you about earlier. Said, I don't see myself being here. So if you're looking at the majority of the population where we have juveniles incarcerated, and now many of them are not even going into juvenile systems, they're going into adult systems. And so now you've got a whole nother kind of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. And they're coming out of these centers not ready to deal with anything civilized.
Devon, what do you see? Where are your peers? How come you're not angry?
So I'll go over two things. The first thing is, I think I've been blessed / cursed to be exposed to some things earlier on that's kind of changed my wavelength. I think when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, I was that little angry person. I was getting into some trouble. But for me, in 2011, I lost my cousin, and we were talking about LA culture a little bit earlier. So I lost my cousin to that LA culture, and that's what really changed what I did. And it motivated me to go more so the education route, go more so the motivation route. And how can I tap into some other people's minds who maybe are on the fence, or maybe they're all the way gone. Maybe they're all the way into that culture. How can we try to pull some kids over to the other side? In 2012, I hosted this first conference when I was at UC Davis. And at first, they weren't trying to have us do this conference because of the type of students that were coming. And there were some incidents in the hotel that were a little telling of the culture. But when I look at some of the students that were in the incidents that happened in the hotel rooms are now college students.
Wow.
They're now activists. They're now I see them out protesting police brutality, and they're doing something very positive. So they took, the LA culture, the street culture, which I feel at its foundation, there's a lot of positivity there. Right. There's loyalty, there's creativity, there's entrepreneurship. There's a lot of good foundational values. We just need to see how can we flip these values for a little bit more of a positive purpose. So that's the one thing that I think has definitely helped me in my transition and some of the folks around me. The second thing is, what was that, King Glover?
No, go ahead.
The second thing is we talk about the intentionality of what we consume. Right. So another kind of switch that I've done since 2015 has been I changed what I eat. I used to work at McDonald's, right? I used to eat McDonald's 3 meals a day. McDonald's soda is cheaper than McDonald's water. And we know what consuming soda does to the acidity of your blood, to the acidity of your brain. So if you're only drinking mostly soda, if you're only eating mostly meats that are pumped up with different hormones, your body is going to be affected no matter what, right? So in 2015, I started changing my diet. I don't really drink soda on a regular basis. I stopped eating meat on a regular basis. And now I have a little bit more clarity as well. So when we talk about what we consume verbally, as far as the words that we're putting, the video games, the TV, we also need to take a little bit of consideration on what we're consuming physically, because we are what we eat literally. So we need to also make sure we be a little bit more intentional on that. I understand access, sometimes again for McDonald's, that's what I was eating. That's what I was bringing back to my siblings, to my family, because I was getting it for free or cheap. But there was definitely a price that I think we were paying on our health when I was giving my family that McDonald's as well.
Yeah, we have all these food deserts too. That's part of a challenge that we have.
Right.
And we've had Black grocery stores that have closed, shut down. Stop, Shop, and Save, I think is the name of it. Gone. But that's an issue. If you have corner stores that are selling liquor and bubble gum and potato chips and all that other garbage, but that's all you have in a 20-block radius, then that's what that's your takeaway.
Right.
Okay.
So we have to be intentional about what we deal with.
Devon, I want to get back to your business game. How important is real estate to you and your family and your future? Do you own real estate? And the reason I'm posing this question is because that's a top way of gaining wealth in America. And it's also something that we've already lost a lot of. When Blacks were chased out of Florida with the Indians on the Trail of Tears, all up and down the East Coast, a lot of us lost land. How important is real estate to your future?
Yeah, so real estate is in the huge vision. Like we had a talk to like a time to talk about the future goals that me and the Queen have. Real estate is a huge part of it. We do own our first piece right now and looking to invest in our second piece. Thank you. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I appreciate that.
Real estate ain't cheap in California.
No, it's not.
That's all. You gotta sell a whole bunch of them games.
But I've been.
Did you know William Leedsdorf, the first black millionaire? He was the man in San Francisco. Look him up. William Leedsdorf, Leidesdorff, black millionaire, half black. You know, he had some mixed heritage, but a black millionaire. William Leedsdorf, San Francisco.
I'm about to say half black is black.
Oh yeah. Well, you know they trying to steal our history. I'm sorry.
Let me ask this because my question is, how important is owning property for the Black community? So few of us own property. Why is that?
Redlining for one.
Hey Devon, I know a dude and a lady. They were renting the house for 35 years, bruh. Hey, bruh.
Yeah, they paid that mortgage twice.
92 paid off in 02. These people been renting for decades. Do you know that they paid for the house, Devon?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, but in New York or San Francisco, man, it's crazy. And I think that black people lose property, and people don't really want to talk about this, but I talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of us who are here now have property, have family in North Carolina. Maybe we're from North Carolina, South Carolina, up the way, Virginia. We've had land in those places. We've had siblings, and we can't get along long enough to hold on to these large acres and acres of property. Right. And we lose them. Or if you grew up in the D.C. area, people who grew up in D.C., I mean, these properties are worth millions. You can't hardly get into D.C. for under $1 million. If you are, you're at 700 and 800, and that's for a shell in Washington D.C. Now, Washington D.C. used to be primarily African American. We left those properties behind. We moved on out, either left the state, left the country, wherever we gone. We're not in D.C. anymore. Yeah, Baltimore looks like now. And so, if you're in Baltimore now, because the same thing's going to happen in Baltimore as soon as they put that train up in
it's happening now.
Well, it is happening now.
It's happening right now.
Gentrification is real. Step foot in D.C. talking about you want to buy a home unless you're paying over $500,000 to $700,000 to $1.5 million. The average house is like $900,000,
and that's not even the Gold Coast, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about Southeast.
I know.
I'm talking about where they used to sling all the rocks and the Rachel Edmonds used to wreak havoc. I'm talking about you can't even afford. I'm looking for a house now, and I'm willing to spend a nice little sum of money for it. But I'm not spending that much money for that little bit of house. Correct. People are. They are in droves.
I have a friend of mine who lives in Mississippi, who's from Mississippi, and her brother did not want to go back to Brookhaven, Mississippi, and the land, because both the parents are deceased. And she and I went to school together. 50 years we've been friends. This girl called me up. She said he didn't want to go in with her to deal with the property or lose it. So she now is the sole owner of 65 acres of land in Mississippi.
That's a little county almost. That's definitely a municipality.
Hear me?
Because
right. So she's gonna make it a retreat center.
So Devon, what I'm getting to, we lost more land. Our ancestors coming out of slavery owned more land, including farmland, than we do today.
Yep.
And we don't want to farm no more. We want to live in a big city with the high rent. Hey, Devon, as they're talking about gentrification, here in Baltimore,
I think that's it.
Hello?
Do you know?
That's Comcast. I just did a whole thing on Comcast. Man, what?
They wait till you say something serious to cut you off.
Right. Right.
Devon, I have white
I had it
addicts.
last week.
I have white addicts in my alley.
Start over because you were cutting up severely.
Right.
Start over.
I'm with Verizon. Devon, do you know what I have in my alley?
Well, it ain't working.
Well, what do you have in your alley, Glover?
I have white addicts shooting dope in my alley. And I live in the blackest part of West Baltimore.
That's because some white folks come into Baltimore City committing crimes. But nobody wants to talk about that. They always talk about black folks going every place else committing crime. These folks come into our city, funding the drug dealers, you know, shooting their dope in our city, stealing from us in our city. But y'all don't hear about that. Y'all
and when I say something about it, it's like, it's no big deal. But you let black people go 10 blocks from here in a relatively white neighborhood, bless you, and do the same thing, and we end up down to jail.
You know, I had 2 quick points about you putting up the mask through the screen. Through the screen, though. That's funny. I had 2 points on real estate.
My computer might get a virus. I don't want none of that.
That's funny. You better get that virus protection on your laptop. So 2 things on real estate. The first thing about like barriers is, I mean, I think the lawyers will know better about this one, but the fact that we don't put the real estate and our investments into our will, into our trust, so that it can be passed down. So when grandma, when uncle, when father, whatever it is, when they pass away, then all their assets go to probate court, and now we have to bid over it or someone outbids us, and then we lose that generational wealth. So I think if more folks had access to lawyers and knew about writing wills and creating family trusts, I think that would help with passing various things down. And then second, I think a huge barrier is that, I mean, it's not a barrier if you know about certain programs, but the down payment, I think, gets people like shock value, like, 10% down, when obviously there's FHA where you can do 3%, there's other ones you can do 0%, but you need to know about those programs. So I think either knowing about the programs, getting the education, or being able to pool money together as friends, like, hey, this year, let's all put money into a pot. We're going to buy next year. We'll put the same money into the pot. Then China will buy. Then next year, just keep on rolling that we can pull our money together. So those are the 2 things I see.
I think one of the first things that we need to do is pay attention to our spending habits and stop buying, making all these designers rich on some stuff for real, and start getting our credit in order, making sure that you have AAA credit so that you can go and get it. Right. So if we start rethinking how we're functioning and prioritizing, we're going to buy a house. What are the things that we need to do? We need to get our credit in order. We need to rethink about how we're spending our money and what we're spending it on. We need to create a savings account that is not touched, that is only for that pot of money. And we need to be intentional with everything that we're doing, be it with investments or whatever.
Like Marcia, you don't sound a day over 25, but you're speaking like you're over 50 years old.
Whatever.
All that stuff you talk about is hard as hell to do.
It is hard. But I think
I'm going through that right now. I'm like, good God, man, it's easy. You just roll it out like it ain't nothing. You gotta do this, and this. That crap is hard. I'm telling you.
It is hard. It is hard. Well, first of all, when I sit and look in my closet and all those daggone designer shoes that I can't wear anymore because the heels are so high, I can't do any of that stuff anymore. And I'm thinking about that money, that money that I spent on those shoes, and those purses, and those dresses for what? Right? We have to really think about.
But no, you're right. You're right. I say it's hard, but nothing's too hard. Nothing's too hard. No, it's just a challenge, and we'll get
in our communities. I think we also need to just make the opportunity for investing in our communities, buying homes in our communities more valuable.
That's great.
Because right now, segregation is real. In Baltimore, in cities across the United States, Black people tend to live together in the same communities.
Yes.
And more often than not, our communities don't have the amenities that we need to boost the market value of the neighborhood, so we actually have more wealth in our homes. And then not only that, in Black communities in particular, the property taxes are usually the highest anywhere. And that erodes value. It takes away value. And so it's not just a struggle to get into the house, but it's a struggle to maintain it.
Right.
When I am, in our communities and knocking doors and talking to people, what I see is that someone bought a house 15 years ago and they never had the money in the 15 years to put any additional money into it. And so they need a new roof. They need to have the exterior painted. They probably need a bunch of other stuff that I can't see just from the outside. But we get the house and then we don't do the maintenance. And our communities, as they age, just begin to fall apart in very visible ways that doesn't happen in predominantly white communities because they have more income.
I need to respond to that, China. And I know it's true today. 100 years ago, I'm originally from South Bend, Indiana. And during whatever time in my life, I went back to South Bend and got a job as an assistant manager for a branch of the First Bank and Trust in South Bend, Indiana. They were not giving loans and they were not giving loans in certain zip codes. They were not giving loans. And so with a pocket of less than 4%, bless you, Black people, we're sitting here looking at people, you're so stupid.
I saw it coming.
I know, I love it, Jay Wendell. And so when you sit down and you look at this and you say, wait a minute, that's my Aunt Helen lives over there. My girlfriend's parents live over here. You're not giving us the opportunity to give them loans to repair the roof, to get a new furnace, to do all these things that needed to be done. I got fired because I was giving out those loans to the people that I knew, and they were redlined. And PSO, by the way, in the basement of First Bank and Trust, in the branch where I was, there was a map of South Bend, Indiana. I'll remember it like it happened yesterday, and it will be ever burned in my brain because it confirmed what I knew to be racism. They had a red line around every neighborhood, and there were 4 neighborhoods. There's the east side where I grew up, the west side, the southeast side, and the lake. And those 4 neighborhoods were all Black people. They were all red lined and no loans were given to them. What are you supposed to do? But no Black bank, but no other kinds of financial institution. And that hasn't changed. We're sitting here now looking at people getting big money to now integrate, because gentrification is now going into a whole community, Ashburton, where white people are buying up all those big, beautiful homes because people are dying and our children aren't doing that. But how do we maintain that? And how do we get the money to buy up those homes ourselves?
So they made their way into Ashburton already?
Yes, sir, buddy. I just had a conversation with somebody the other day.
Okay, let's hear from Devon.
Yeah, so I have an interesting point, and this is off of my memory, but I'm old, so I don't know if it's going to be 100% accurate. But in LA specifically, there's parts that are LA County and are, owned or municipalities of the city, and they get funding from the city. And there's other points that are unincorporated land. So like East Compton is unincorporated land. Parts of Crenshaw District, unincorporated land. When we look at Lancaster, which is outside of LA, but a lot of our communities were pushed out to Lancaster, unincorporated land. So when we're talking about why aren't our streets being paved? Why aren't our schools funded? Why aren't communities being painted? It's because there's no budget from the city because they're sitting on unincorporated land. So I find that interesting. I don't know if it's the same out in other areas. Another thing that we kind of talked about was gentrification. I'm obviously not a fan of gentrification, but I am a fan of Black beautification. Right. So I think there's still ways that we can take the concepts of gentrification, which is adding value, which is painting, renovating homes. Like, how can we put in Black owned grocery stores? Like, gentrification, the only bad part is that it pushes our people out of the community. The other things that are happening are technically good things. How can we make developer companies? How can we start businesses so that we can beautify our own communities everywhere?
Devon, I got one more topic I want to cover for you. We've talked about real estate. We've talked about the significance of Black people having a lawyer. I want to talk with you about Black media. Is there a black newspaper in Los Angeles?
I know there is. Off the top of my head, I'm not remembering it, but yes, there.
Wrong answer.
There you go.
J. Wendell Gordon, how significant is black media?
To me, it's everything. You know, in fact, the reason why a lot of people know me today is because of you, Donnie Glover and BmoreNews. You were one of the first to come out with the video platform, and you just interview local professionals and whomever. You know, just talk to them about what they're doing, what's up next, you know, what's going on, and you would come down, and he'd shake me down a little bit and turn me upside down, empty my pockets out, and I felt like I needed a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, call me shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm kidding about that. But the bottom line is, no, Donnie really elevated my platform many years ago, and I've just been on the rise ever since. And wasn't no white media coming into my office trying to sit down with an interview with me. I don't care what I was doing, you know, unless it was something big in the paper. But Donnie, you didn't always have to have something big in the paper. If Donnie wanted an opinion, say from a lawyer, he would come see me, and I'd give him an opinion, and that helped him and helped me. Everything, it was just a synergy that worked well, and my profile is elevated to this day because of Donnie's media enterprise. So yeah, black media is extremely important.
Marsha Jews, you know something about black media?
I know something about black media. I have a weekly newsletter, electronic. Please subscribe. We have information from all over the country, and we celebrate Black folks, WKIM, yes. And we celebrate all kinds of information. There's art, there's health, there's all kinds of things that we have in there. As a matter of fact, that conversation that we had with the Black Mental Health Alliance, they're going to start doing a regular article in our newsletter. So we have affirmations. We talk about everything there. So we're talking about, first of all, print, newspapers. We're talking about radio stations. We're talking about television stations. Big ups to Byron Allen. I think he just created an opportunity for Ryan. And we're talking about the internet. And so I can see your game. Black media is the vehicle. It's all we have. Let me ask you, Devon, are you familiar with Willie Brown? Yes.
Oh my God. Who is Willie Brown, Marsha?
Mayor. Bad brother. Into everything.
He was the mayor of San Francisco, right? Speaker of the House for California.
He helped Kamala get her start, right?
Probably.
He was married to somebody. Was it Kamala? Who was he married to? Sorry. He was married to someone. It was a high-profile marriage.
He told me I need to stop saying stuff like that.
He knows Kamala, though. He do know her.
He knows everybody.
Oh, he know her.
He knows everybody.
I'm about to tell you who he's married to.
Oh, goodness.
He might not be married at all right now.
No, and he mentored Kamala.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't see it. He dated. It must have been, it's something. Anyway, I can't find it, but I'll think of it.
They were very close, though.
And he was the mayor of San Francisco.
Well, anyway, Willie Brown. We caught Willie Brown. He was giving a speech to the National Newspaper Publishers Association, and that's a collection of about 150 black newspapers around the country. See, Devon, what I'm saying is the black newspaper is significant in recording our history as a people, because the other team is not going to record our history. And what they do record, they're going to leave you out of your own damn story. So you got to write your own story. You got to have your own black media. If you go in to take over a country, the first thing you take over is the communication lines.
That's right.
In other countries, the first thing that happens in a coup d'etat, they shut down the internet. The power of media. This show right here, powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's straight up, no chaser. You're not good. It's kind of raw over here.
But the most important thing, Devon, is that you pass the ball to somebody else. Listen, we only got a few minutes left. Special thank you to J. Wendell Gordon, who has been a longtime supporter of BmoreNews, China, Bo Terrell, Marsha June. But let's go around the horn. China, you started off, Marsha, J. Wendell, and then Devon, you give your closing spiel. Make sure you tell people how to get in touch with you. And Devon, this is just our way of letting you know we love you, man. We support you. We want you to succeed. If you succeed, we succeed. Black Wall Street.
So I'm China Bo Terrell, and I was a practicing lawyer. I still maintain my license, but now I'm 100% about economic justice. And so the work that we do is to put small businesses in low-income communities. So what Devon is doing and teaching, especially to our young people, is absolutely right up my alley. And my closing word is for everyone to go buy as many editions of the Wall Street, or as many, as many units of the Wall Street game as humanly possible, and give it away as a gift to everyone you know.
Right.
A special thank you to
just buy it. And for Christmas, just provide the receipt and say it's coming.
Right. Cute little card. Right. Right. Oh, he's got his.
So that's my parting thought.
Special thank you to Rodney Griffin for my game. Okay, Marsha Jews. China, give him a piece of a tidbit of wisdom, advice, legal counsel, his last freebie of the hour.
Oh, yes.
So, my counsel is actually just to know your numbers. I think that's actually the most important thing. And I'm going to let Jay Wendell, who is out there battling it out every day in the courts, working with the judges, to give you the legal advice. But my advice is to have your math down and to know it like the back of your hand, because too many of our people get taken advantage of and don't build their wealth and don't build it in a way that they can pass it on to their posterity because they're not understanding their numbers, or because they're afraid of their numbers. So, know the economics of your own business better than anybody.
That's
good.
That's good. Thank you.
That's great. Who's next? That's you, Marsha.
Well, I think the best thing that you can do is start paying attention to your history and start reading everything about what's going on around you, who's doing what, get your finances in order, look at buying up property, working together, create consortiums of people within your family and within your community, your extended family, and figure out how you all can even buy in a collective. What we're missing is our ability to own property.
Yes.
And that's what we have to do.
Marsha, you want to put a plug in for WKIM?
Yeah, just get in touch with Marsha Jews at Gmail and subscribe, and we will be able to sit down and do whatever we can with you. We'd like for you to read it. We'd like for you to advertise, and just let us know.
China, did you plug your...
I've got to go. I've got to shut down now.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a problem.
Thank you, Marsha.
Take care. I'll be in touch.
So my nonprofit is American Communities Trust, Inc. And so my email is China, spelled just like the country, at actimpact.org. And my phone number is 410-989-1607. Completely agree with what Ms. Marsha just said. In this 63% Black city, we have got to get the ownership rate above 43%. Less than 200,000 people who are Black in this town own homes, and that's not working. That's not working for our people.
And you have rental space for businesses.
Businesses, that's right. I have commercial space. So if you're a maker, if you need space to produce something, so for example, Devon, if you need a space to make your game and you decide you want to do that here in Baltimore, or if you manufacture something, or if you need office space, although I know office space is a little bit funny right now. But we have that space available for you. We are putting small businesses into low-income communities. We're thinking beyond COVID.
How much square feet do you have available?
10,000 square feet left. Everything else is leased. So it's going to be a great little mecca. We've got an amazing Black-owned restaurant in East Baltimore. So one block north of the Johns Hopkins University Hospital. If you need a new law office, Jay Wendell, you come over to me.
Don't play.
I'm not playing with you. Come over. I'll treat you right.
And Devon, I do get a finder's fee in this. You want to negotiate up front. You want to write it down. That's why you need a lawyer. Write it down.
Our lease is up in 2 years, so like don't say it if you just
you need an office on the east side, because I know 60% of the people who live around me don't have access to a car, so you don't we want them to have to figure out how to get to you. So come on over, we'll make it right. You know, we work hard for the small businesses.
Is that the Eager development over there with Cheryl and
So that's south of the tracks, and then I am 300 feet away north of the railroad track.
Okay.
You know, China, my first memories are from that vicinity.
Really?
Addison Park in Landville. Yeah, my dad had a funeral home over there. Okay, J. Wendell Gordon, cheaper and deeper. That was his motto. You get it?
I don't get it. I don't think I want it either. Look,
I don't want to get it, but I get it.
I just want to say, you said some parting words for Devon. When they sleep on you, tuck them in, bro.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And man, I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Like, don't cut any corners. You know, if you skip the method, you miss the message. So don't cut any corners, whatever it takes. I know things are expensive. I know it's difficult to get a lawyer, but you got something special right there. And the worst thing that could happen if someone took that from you, even if they just put a little tweak on it and made it their own. Like, you don't want anybody to have access to your baby, your intellectual property. You put the time and the work in there. I'm proud of you. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Stay inspired, man. Don't let nobody turn you around. And I understand that, you know, sometimes your ambitions get ahead of yourself and you don't have time to get to the lawyer. Just make time. Just make that time and reach out to Andrea Evans. She's awesome, man. I'm telling you. And she knows lawyers all over the country. I'm sure she knows some in California. Hell, I know lawyers in California. So I know she knows lawyers in California. And so just keep on doing it. And next time I want to see you on TV, like Parker Brothers advertising that game.
And Devon, we want to see you on CNN. We want to see you on national news outlets. And the way you do that is you start sending them some regular press releases.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I have to go because I have a court hearing at 11:30. But it's J. Wendell Gordon, Warrior Lawyer. Just Google me and you'll get all my content: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know. Just Google it. Warrior. If you can't remember my name, J. Wendell Gordon, just remember Warrior Lawyer. You can Google that. I'll pop up. All right, everybody, have a great morning, and I got to get ready for this hearing.
Love you, Jay.
Awesome.
More.
Devon, you get the final say, and we want to hear some advice from you as you poured into. We want you to pour into somebody watching you and say, "Wow, if Devon Travell did it, then maybe I can do it too." And we're proud of you. And let me tell you, we didn't touch on this. I'm very proud that you're a married man. My daddy would say that marriage is the greatest institution on the earth. It is the core. It is the nucleus of our community, of our families, of our nation.
Yes, love it. Yeah, first of all, shout out to marriage, shout out to the Queen. My advice would be, one, take advantage of opportunities. It's 7 a.m. or we started at 7 a.m. over here on the West Coast. You know, woke up, did my little morning routine, did a little exercise so I can make sure my brain was awake for this conversation, because I know Glover be asking the hard questions. But you definitely want to make sure you take advantage of opportunities when they're presented to you. And also, I tried to listen more than talk during this conversation. I don't know how successful I was because I love talking, but we had some amazing folks on here. Thank you, Miss China, Jay Wendell, Marsha, like being able to pour in, just give me advice, like be willing to just sit there and sometimes, you know, get the wisdom, right? And then lastly, I would say is just do it. Like the board game, we never made a board game before 2017. We had no idea really how to do it. We just put it together. I reached out to my friend Markel, talked to the Queen, and we just put together our resources to make a game. So I think sometimes people get too caught up in the details, or they think that they can't do it for whatever reason because they've never met someone who's done a board game. They've never met someone who's become a lawyer. They never met someone who's done X, Y, Z. But if you want to do it, if it's your dream to do it, just go ahead and take the dive. And the universe, the ancestors, and people around you will definitely support and make sure that landing is nice and soft for you. So those are my 3 bits of advice. PlayBlackWallStreet.com is where you can go if you would like the game, if you would like to get your ownership hat, your 1921 hat. We do have games available for pre-order right now, just sold out for the holidays, which is a blessing. We appreciate it.
But they can
Just sold out.
try the receipt as a gift.
Yes, get the receipt as a gift. Go ahead and print that out. Let people know it's on the way, and games will start shipping out towards the end of December. And then June 2021, we have a brand new edition that's going to come out. It's going to be special for the 100th year anniversary. So definitely look out for that in June 2021. But that's all I got, King Glover. Always appreciate the time and the conversation.
And thank you to your family for sharing you with us so early in the morning. China, out of here, okay?
All right. Can you give us the mantra?
Up to date, down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it. Regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks, Devon.
Of course. That's the vibe we ended with. That's nice. Okay.
It is. This is great. I love it.
Oh, man.